Today I have something special. Trump meets Zelensky, and just so you know, Trump goes on his political rants about Biden and the stolen election. So listen to the president.
I guess the number is well over $300 billion. That was under Joe Biden, a corrupt politician, not a smart man, never was. By the way, go back 40 years, he was not a smart man 40 years ago either, but now he's in particular bad. This was done by a corrupt administration that shouldn't have been in, and frankly, if the right results of the election were given, if I were president, this war would have never taken place, and he would have been very happy.
Okay. This is not a Biden war, people, okay? It is a Russian and Ukraine war. Biden saved Ukraine, okay? And we'd have been having a whole different conversation.
Because he would have liked to have seen, I mean, they went through hell. He went through hell. This war would have never happened, and the people that were killed, a couple of million people, a lot of people with soldiers and everything.
A million
else,
dead so far.
And the people that have been displaced and forced into other areas and other countries because of what's happened, none of that would have happened. And I'm just saying that he was a...
The people misplaced that Donald Trump was talking about, or referring to, was the kids that were being kidnapped from Ukraine and brought to Russia. This is what caused Vladimir Putin to get the arrest warrant for being a war criminal, right? We just can't do that. Okay, it's a war crime. But Trump continues about Biden.
Horrible president, whether it was the borders or this, he was just a horrible, corrupt president.
Mr. President,
You want to?
I can't think so much. So
Listen to Zelensky.
We have possibility now to buy weapons from the United States. We are thankful for this program and this opportunity. We are thankful for Europe. They pay for this. And through NATO program for Pearl and etc. We have some programs where we can have some money to finance this. And this is a part, I think, it's not a part for the war and to defend us. It also will be a part for security guarantees, to strengthen our army, to rearm Ukrainian army. This is very, very important. And it depends how much money we need to rearm. For example, the question of air defense, we spoke about it with President Trump, and I'm happy that we have now bilateral decisions and we work on it with production, American production. Nobody in Europe has so many air defense like Patriots, for example. We need it very much, and this is also about defending.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, people, okay? It's clear that Zelensky, Ukraine, all they want is just weapons. That's it. Just give us the weapons, right? We don't want them for free, you know? They want weapons. That's the only way they're going to get security guarantees. So let's continue and listen.
I think the good news, we make the best military equipment in the world by far. You mentioned the Patriots. How good are they?
Systems.
We have systems.
That's the only truth
literally
that Trump says about this whole thing.
And it's really like shooting two bullets, two bullets hitting each other in the air in a space like this. The chance is 100%. It's 99 to 100%. So we sell the equipment to NATO. And NATO does what, I don't know what the arrangement is that you have with, but I know that they want you to have the equipment. And we're getting the best equipment in the world, but they pay us for the equipment. Under Biden, it was just crazy what was going on. I believe the numbers...
You hear what he just said? He just says, under Biden, it was just crazy. Zero evidence, zero proof about his statement. But rapist Trump continues about Biden. Let's listen.
For 300, I think it could be $350 billion worth of equipment and money and everything else. And we've made more progress in settling this war in the last 2 months than they made in 4 years. This should have been settled a long time ago, but it should have never happened. Yeah, please.
Real quickly,
you pushed out on social media.
All right, Brian, go first.
You pushed out on social media about doing away with mail-in.
So here we go again. Rapist Trump and the Republican pedophiles and their political theater. Here you go. Listen.
Ballots and potentially electronic voting machines. Can you expand on that and how important
Well, that's a very off-topic, just really quickly. Mail-in ballots are corrupt. Mail-in ballots, you can never have...
This is what you call political theater. You saw how Trump got himself ready? Yeah, he's about to lie and manipulate. Listen.
Real democracy with mail-in ballots. And we,
coming
as
after
a
your
Republican
mailing
Party, are gonna
voting
do everything
power.
possible that we get rid of mail-in ballots. We're going to start with an executive order that's being written right now by the best lawyers in the country.
Terrible
To
mistake.
end mail-in
Terrible.
ballots.
Not
because
only
they're
for the
corrupt.
Democrats, but for Republicans as well. As a matter of fact, the
You
Republicans
know
will
that we're the
suffer.
only country in the world, I believe, I may be wrong, but just about the only country in the world that uses them because of what's happened, massive fraud all over the place. The other thing we want change are the machines. For all of the money they spend, it's approximately 10 times more expensive than paper ballots. And paper ballots are very sophisticated with the watermark paper and everything else. We would get secure elections. We'd get much faster results. The machines, I mean, they say we're going to have the results in 2 weeks. With paper ballots, you have the results that night. Most people, but most people, many countries use paper ballots. It's the most secure form. So between paper ballots, very, very important, paper ballots, and I think maybe even more important, the mail-in voting. We're going to end mail-in voting. It's a fraud. If you have mail-in voting.
All right, people. I don't know about you, but I know one thing for sure, that mail-in voting does help millions of Americans who can't even get to the post office.
Even Jimmy Carter with this commission, they set it up. He said the one thing about mail-in voting, you will never have an honest election if you have mail-in. And it's time that the Republicans get tough and stop it, because the Democrats want it. It's the only way they can get elected.
It's the only way people
Because
will
with
vote.
men and women's sports, and with transgender for everybody, and open borders, and all of the horrible things. And now the new thing is they love crime. They're fighting me on the fact that I've made Washington, D.C. safe. We're not going to get mugged.
It was
beaten
never
up,
the
or
case.
killed
It was never the
like
case.
all the people you've been watching get so badly hurt. I'm glad. I hate to take your time with this, but I'm glad you asked me that question. We're going to stop
It's a good show, I tell you
mail-in
that.
ballots because it's corrupt. You know, when you go to a voting booth and you do it the right
Yeah, but there's millions of people that can't even get to the voting booth, people. They don't have no arms, they don't have no legs, no money to get there. So they mail it.
way, and you go to a state that runs it properly, you go in, they even ask me, they asked me for my license plate, for identity. I said, I don't know if I have it. They said, sir, you have to have it. I was very impressed, actually. But it's very hard to cheat with mail-in voting. As you know what happens in California, it's so corrupt, where some people get 5, 6, 7 ballots delivered to them. Now, we got to stop mail-in voting, and the Republicans have to lead the charge. The Democrats want it because they have horrible policy. If you have mail-in voting, you're not going to have many Democrats get elected. That's bigger than anything having to do with redistricting, believe me. And the Republicans have to get smart. We're not going to have a country. I said for a long time at rallies, you need borders and you need free and fair elections. Those two things, otherwise you don't have. We have strong borders.
Well, Trump continues with his false rants of zero evidence of any kind, people. And just so you know, Washington, D.C., the reason why he sent the National Guard, because people are protesting. They don't like his tyrannical governments that he has imposed on us. People don't like him. Okay, it has nothing to do with crime. All right. But let's continue. Unfortunately, we're going to hear more of Trump's rants, false statements, zero evidence of any kind, just straight up lies. Pathetic. Okay? But let's listen to Rapist Trump.
Now, in 90 days, Mr. President, we didn't have 0 in 3 months. Not one person came in illegally into our country. In fact, even I find that hard to believe, but it's run by a little bit of a liberal group that put out the numbers, so I guess it's
a lie.
But 0, 0, and 0. You go back a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 millions of people poured into our country. It was terrible. Thank you very much.
Weapons, that's all they want. Don't they listen?
Do you need from President Trump to be able to make a deal? Is it American troops, intelligence, equipment? What is it?
Everything. And really, it includes two parts. First, strong Ukrainian army. That's what I began to discuss with your colleagues. And it's a lot about weapon and then people and training missions and intelligence. And second, we will discuss with our partners. It depends on the big countries, on the United States, on a lot of our friends.
And Mr. President, are you willing to commit American troops to that NATO-like protection in order to get President Zelensky to a deal today?
Well, I don't know if you define it that way, but NATO-like, I mean, we're going to give, we have people waiting in another room right now. They're all here from Europe, biggest people in Europe, and they want to give protection. They feel very strongly about it, and we'll help them out with that. I think it's very important. I think it's very important to get the deal done.
You've been involved with the peacekeeping in Ukraine since your first day.
A lot of people suffering. A lot of Ukrainians are suffering. Russia is killing a lot of civilians.
Suffering under the Russian attacks and hoping that the American people will stand with them.
Well, I know Ukrainian people. I've known many over the years. They're great people. They're smart. They're energetic. They love their country. I mean, they love their country, and we want to get this war ended. That's all I can do. I love the Ukrainian people, but I love all people. I love the Russian people. I love them all. I want to get the war stopped. Very important.
Mr. President, was there any aspect of your discussion with Vladimir Putin that left you disappointed?
Look, we just spoke to, I was just telling the president, I just spoke to President Putin indirectly.
Putin actually
and
calls
we're
him
gonna have a
during the
phone call
meeting,
right after
just
these
so you know.
meetings today.
After this meeting, there's
And
another
we may or
meeting.
may not
Putin
have
called
a
him then.
trilat. If we don't have a trilat, then the fighting continues. And if we do, we have a good chance. I think if we have a trilat, there's a good chance of maybe ending it. But he's expecting my call when we're finished with this meeting. Thank you very much, everybody.
Everybody, get out. So what do I learn about this? That there's only one person telling the truth here. It's Zelensky and me, of course. Zelensky needs our help. They need our weapons. That's the guarantee, the security guarantees. We need to provide them with weapons and intelligence to kill the Russians out of Ukrainians. This is the only way that we're going to win the war, okay? Putin is not going to make a deal. Putin does not want peace. He wants all Ukraine, okay? You need to listen to Vladimir Putin when he's not playing political theater, and you'll soon find out that he's all in taking over Ukraine. And we need to take this serious, and it's clear that rapist Trump and the Republican pedophiles have a whole different agenda, and it has nothing to do with Ukraine, okay? I'm John Ramon. Please comment below. Hit the subscribe button.